This is Ahri, the unfortunate cat girl tasked with the impossible goal of fully completing Final Fantasy XIV. Over the next several thousands of hours, I will collect every single achievement, complete every new raid, and min-max every piece of content that the game throws at me. Can I create the strongest account ever? Hello, and welcome everyone to the next video in our series. We have a bit of a special episode this time around, being episode 7. We are going to revisit some of the things we talked about on episode 1 and basically check up on some of the goals that we had, which ones we completed, which ones we've gotten progress on, as well as some of the ones that we did not get time to do. After a quick review, we'll do another, State of the Union. What are we currently working on? What is our current midterm goal before Dawn Trail comes out? And then we are going to be covering a challenge that we're going to spend the entirety of this episode going over. The challenge is, currently our account is around 18,000 achievement points. We are going to be attempting to get 1,000 achievement points in one sitting.
You what?
We're basically going to go from the start to the finish and talk about, what kind of things we have lined up, as well as our way of getting them done and seeing if we can accomplish this feat. Admittedly, this challenge is quite an easy task for an account that's pretty fresh, but since we are pretty deep in our achievement hunting journey, there isn't a total amount of easy achievements to grab, and we're going to have to work for it. In fact, after we do this challenge, we probably will never be able to do this again on this account. So let's go ahead and get into it, and let's do some review. So on the first episode, the current goals that we were working on were quite a few things. We had Heaven's Ward relics, which we did not finish them all, but we completed about 4 of them. So 4 or so is pretty good. Eureka relics, same thing. We completed 4 different Eureka relics. The coal crafts actually went very well. We finished all of the quantity crafts. And finally, we have the Endwalker relic tools. We finished both the crafter and the combat versions of this. So we are completely done with this. And so that's double thumbs up. We never got around to doing ocean fishing yet, but let's talk about some of the goals that were listed as soon TM. We did get a good start on the Blue Savage. We got all of the blue trials done, and we're currently working on Brute Justice. Sildine Savage is currently being procced. We finished Sildine Normal Clear. We also finished Rokon Savage, so that's looking good. Second Grand Company turn-ins have been started, as we have begun the one in Limsa, and we're hopefully going to be done with that by the time Dawn Trail comes out. Rival Wings will be released on the Tome events pretty soon here. Well, technically it's always in the game, but we can't really get it to pop until Tombstone events, so we'll be making sure to take advantage of that very soon. And then we've also been plugging away at some of our long-term goals with the CC wins as well as frontline wins, and we did manage to do some Resplendent tools. Whew, that was a mouthful. All in all, we've made pretty good progress in these first 6 episodes, but now I want to get into today's challenge of getting 1,000 points in a day. Let's get started on that. Alright, so at the start of our challenge, we are going to be beginning at 18,070 achievement points. So the minimum amount that we can stop at today is 19,070. So this is our starting point. And I think what we're going to do first is get caught up on the various map achievements. I've been preparing them a little bit in advance, but realistically, I did not have enough time. So we're going to do a little bit of prep right now. And then we'll make a nice, satisfying completion of all of them. So what I did is, before beginning the stream where we were doing this 1,000 point challenge, is I looked at all of the various map achievements that we had access to that were not related to treasure map dungeons, and I completed as many as I could up until the point where they were 1 map away. So what we did at the start of stream was I had all 11 of the maps in my inventory, And then we went periodically, one by one, to do 11 total treasure maps, and each map that we did was the final map within that set. So we start things off with a nice sequence of 11 achievements. Most of the scary ones, like Olympian and Luckiest of Ladies, are completely done. We don't have to worry about those. And we've been plugging away at the clears for Aquapolis every Tuesday. But all in all, it was really nice to get these 11 clears done, and we can look at that category and pretty much cross it off for the most part. As soon as we get those Aquapolis clears, we are done. And all in all, this start of the challenge is looking pretty good. Next up on our docket is going to be cleaning out all of the old raid achievements that we've never gotten around to. First things first, we have to go back into coils, actually, and just basically clear the final turn over and over and over again for all three of the bosses, 𝒕𝒄𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉, Nail, as well as Bahamut. And then after that, we'll be going on to the Alexander raids, and then rounding things out in the Omega raids. We'll have to do some Savages as well. Alright, so first things first, on coils, we had to go to 𝒕𝒄𝒊𝒕𝒄𝒉. We needed roughly 8 clears of this, but we did end up doing a couple of extra ones due to some of the FC mates and viewers that we were playing with. Also needed a couple more than I did, but since it was as simple as walking up and one-shotting her, no big deal there. The next one, which was Nail, was quite a bit annoying because we had to wait for an arbitrary amount of time to happen for a certain phase to happen, and we found that it was kind of inconsistent, as sometimes Nail would go invuln for a long time, sometimes Nail would go invuln for only a little bit, but all in all, still pretty quick. And then while we were doing the third achievement for coils, Bahamut, we had a pleasant surprise. We got our warrior achievement. I'll admit this was planned, but we got our warrior achievement for high-end duties, so we pick up some extra points before we finally finish our Bahamut clears. The Alexander raid achievements are going to be a little different, since we need normal mode clears for the second and third raid tiers, but we need our savage clears for all 3 tiers. So we're going to be here a little bit of extra time, not to mention that every single one of these bosses has built-in time gates, even when you're on Echo. So that was a bit time consuming. We started things off by battling my ex-girlfriend. Pretty cool that they put her in the game. Once we were done with that one, Brute Justice was probably the most annoying out of the 3, since we had such a nasty time gate waiting for all the phases to go off, but Brute Justice is done, and then we had to go on to Perfect, or not Perfect, not doing T. We went on to Alexander, and we did the normal mode clears as well as the Savage clears. Again, these ones were a little rough just because of how long you had to stand around, but hey, we can go ahead and cross all of them off. With Alexander out of the way, we actually had more progress done with our Stormblood raids, so we just had to run some Kefka Savage, followed by some Neo Exdeath Savage, and we were all done with our raid achievements, finally. Big shout out to everyone who helped out, as well as getting their own achievements. After this, we're going to move on to a few of the more easy ones that allow us to complete stuff in bulk. The time has finally come to cash in on some Deep Dungeon grip achievements. We started with HOH. Grips are acquired through removing your Aether pool from Deep Dungeons and turning them into grips, which allow you to use the weapons within the overworld. So we started off with HOH, and then we made our way over to EO, or Eureka Orthos, and got both of those achievements. The bigger round of achievements would come from Palace of the Dead, though. Palace of the Dead is quite nice for padding achievement points, as we had a good amount of the grips stocked up. I don't have enough for all of them, but we have enough to buy somewhere around 10 or 11 weapons, which is going to be a very quick plus 100 points. We still will have a few more to get eventually at a later date, but I figured this would be a perfect time to spend our grips and contribute towards this challenge. So all in all, the 3 deep dungeons definitely contributing to our challenge. Next, we'll be working on exploration, which is basically just uncovering the map inside of an open world map, a dungeon, a raid, and whatnot. We started off by finishing all of the various open world maps. For some reason, most of them were in Heavensward. We basically just had to fly around, go to the corners that we had never ventured to, This one wasn't too bad. It was pretty self-explanatory to figure out where to go. Once we were all done with that, we made our way into some pretty random ARR dungeons. There was just some little bonus pathways that I had never gone to, or in Sunken Temple of Karn's case, there was a little puzzle that probably every sprout except me ended up doing, so we ended up doing it, and I felt very smart when I completed it. So, Sunken Temple of Karn main here, newest 𝒕𝒄𝒉, thank you for watching. After that, we went over to Coils, which every single one we were missing in Coils was just walking into the exit room. We were missing like 3 of those, so we got those as well, each one giving us like 10 points, I think, which was pretty cool. And then we also had the variant dungeon one to go grab, but before we could go to the variant dungeon, we had to go to the firmament. And for some reason within the firmament, you had to fly to each and every little island that was flying in the sky. Whoever designed that, good on you. I haven't actually done my firmament grind yet, so I'm assuming those are either fishing spots or legendary nodes. But I'm guessing we'll be very intimate with the firmaments in the near future. So I'm going to enjoy my ignorance while I can. Next, we made our way over to the island sanctuary, where our mammoth friends had pre-collected an achievement for us, as all we had to do was walk up and gather some of the leavings from our animals. I intentionally left it kind of close to an achievement pop in anticipation for this challenge. The crop one and granary one are also getting kind of close, but they won't be able to be ready in time, so we just went for this one. And then after that, we just really quick did our custom delivery turn-ins for the week. Each of these only yielded 5 points apiece, but by the end of this this challenge, that extra 10 points really came in clutch, because you'll see what happens at the end. But we did get our 5 and 5 from our custom deliveries. Do not worry, there will be no spoilers. Next up, we did our MSQ, which gave us 2 different rounds of 20 achievement points, as I have neglected them on my main, but we are now caught up on MSQ and ready for Dawn Trail. But 40 points does help towards our challenge. We then made our way over to Kugane, and this time we'd be completing 4 stages of a relic, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for a full warrior Eureka weapon. This was kind of nice because we had a bit of saved up materials in our inventory over the last week or 2 of grinding on the side, and because of this we were able to bank up 40 points and then accumulate them all in preparation for this challenge. Luckily, we just had to go through a few prompts, and as long as you have the materials in advance, you don't need to do any legwork like you need to do for the Heavensward relics. So, quick, easy 40 points. At this point in the challenge, we're starting to have to go a little bit off the beaten path for our achievements. We go to Kurthus, an ARR zone, to kill a singular unique A rank, which gave us 2 achievements, one for the Kurthus zones, and then another one for completing all of the A ranks within ARR. Quick 15 points from these. This was the part of the grind coming up that I was actually starting to really get annoyed with. We did ARR relic weapons, all of them. Luckily, you don't have to do every single step, you only had to get up until a certain point, but we did, I lost track, I think 4 or 5 relics, which we started on, I believe, Monk, and then Bard, and then we went on to Ninja, and I think there was 1 or 2 other Scholar and Summoner. But by the end, we had gotten 10 points per job, and then a very, very satisfying achievement pop of that gave us 30, which was for acquiring all of them. So this was a pretty needed hit, as we're starting to get pretty close to the end of our journey, but I was not enjoying these. AR relics or something else, man. For our next task, I wanted to tackle some of the hunting logs. First and foremost, we did the Grand Company hunting log, and then these were quite tedious, so I only ended up doing a few jobs. We only did roughly 2 or 3 of them, but each of them is going to give us 20 points, and I still have, I think, 4 or 5 left on my account to do at a later date, so we can save those. I'm not going to worry about them right now, but all in all, got these done pretty quick. Just had to teleport around and kill some assorted enemies within ARR. Not too bad. Now, on a warrior, we were finishing up our final hunting log for the session, and things were starting to look really good. After this warrior hunting log, we would only need one more achievement before we could call it quits. Except, a problem was presenting itself. And a big one at that. The game wasn't going to let us off the hook this easily. That's right. On our final achievement of the challenge, Final Fantasy XIV was the target of a DDoS attack. For those that have been playing recently, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Players on North America, and I heard even other data centers, were disconnecting left and right, but I would not let that stop us. To make matters even worse, we are going against one of my oldest adversaries in the entire game. It is more difficult than every ultimate in the game blindfolded. It's harder than any Savage min eye level, as well as any other concoction of challenge run you can think of in the game. We are of course returning to where the Great Serpent of Ranka lives, the hardest big fish to catch in the game. If you feel otherwise, you're wrong. Well, with our Stockholm Syndrome intact, we make our way back to the bog, and then this happens. Look there, I would have laughed so hard. I mean, I'm still laughing, but I can't get off my mount. Oh my god, this game is so... She can't even put the lure on. Okay, there we go. Look at this lag, dude. I hit chum 10 seconds ago. I just need one more achievement. Let me leave. Oh my... The achievement that we're after requires us to fish 3,000 total fish within waters that are level 70, which usually is in Stormblood, except the 𝒕𝒄𝒉 bog here counts as level 70. And because of the abysmal luck that we received back then, trying to get the Great Serpent of Ranka, we had almost caught 3,000 fish. We're like 30 or so away. So we came back here with full intention to finish things up, and we were just disconnecting left and right. The Great Serpent of Ranka was mad. We hadn't been around in a while to check in. He was pissed, but yeah, I think we clocked in at like 4 or 5 DCs. I lost track, but I was exhausted. I was ready to be done, but the game was having none of that. Spam this pog to return to the bog. With the amount of times that I was disconnecting, we were basically calculating the amount of fish per DC that we were getting, which was around 6 or 7, and we finally remained connected to the game long enough to catch like 4 or 5 fish, and we ding the achievement. This was 1,000 achievement points in one sitting, complete. It took us roughly 12 hours. I definitely think people could do this much faster on an account that had less achievement points, but all in all, it was a fantastic event to do on stream. I had a blast. We did end up disconnecting like a minute after we got it, but that's besides the point. But I wanted to say thank you so much, everybody, for watching and being with me on this journey. This was a good time. We are very quickly closing in on top 100 on Adamantoise, and we are going to try and get top 50 before Dawn Trail drops. So let's see if we can get that done. We have like another month and a half or so. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I really, really do appreciate it. We stream full-time here on YouTube as well as twitch.tv/AhriEffect. That'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget, we do indeed have to still pull the giveaway winner, so we'll go ahead and do that here shortly. And for this video's giveaway, make sure you put your name down below, as well as your server. Hey guys, we're here finally pulling the winner. We haven't released an episode in about 3, roughly 4 weeks, so the comments on the last video have had a little bit more time to grow in size, but the time has come to pull the 2 mil giveaway winner. So good luck to everyone who entered. Thank you so much, and don't forget to comment on this video for the next giveaway. So whoever wins, we can meet on whichever server. I don't care if you're from EU, OCE, it does not matter. But, oh, Ambi Domino is going to be our giveaway winner. Thank you so much for entering, everybody. Appreciate it. And Ambi will be in touch. You can either contact me on Discord, one of my live streams on Twitch or YouTube. But let me know, even if you're, you know, a week late, 2 weeks late, just let me know and we'll get you paid. Thank you so much. Congratulations again to the winner of the giveaway. And don't forget, guys, there is another giveaway for this video. Just make sure you put your character name as well as server down below. And we'll be streaming live on YouTube as well as Twitch over at twitch.tv/AhriEffect or here on the YouTube channel. We stream Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And hope to see you guys there. I really appreciate all the love and support you guys have been giving to this video series. It's been a blast to make. And don't forget, if you haven't seen the other episodes, this is a part of a playlist, so feel free to start at episode 1 and track how our journey's been going. I'll catch you guys in the next one, and thank you so much for watching again. Bye-bye for now.